Devotion in the beginning of the path could never have got them to their realization, to their enlightenment. It is this principle which made it possible. It is this state of self-giving and prayer, and the prayer was oriented correctly into this exponential process of growing in love and in grace. It's like an ever-growing spiral, ever-growing, ever-growing. All the concerns of life become completely trivial. If your wish is actually to love your spiritual ideal more, and in your prayer you're able to go a little closer, then that prayer will attract grace, and that grace will attract more love. And then that love can create a greater intensity of the prayer, in which you can go closer to your wish-fulfilling tree and pray more intensely with an even clearer devotion, and then you will get 3 times more grace. And then you will have 5 times more love, and you will pray with that love and get 10 times more grace, and then have 20 times more love. And in this way, even if you just have 5% of devotion, but you understand this one principle of the path of devotion, a principle which stands out in the life of all these saints, it shouts out in the life of all these saints. Once you understand this principle, you can take your 5% of devotion and in time turn it into 30%, 70%, 80% of devotion, which means that basically almost all the time that's all you think about. What would that look like? What would a life look like when more than half of the time you're thinking of your spiritual ideal? You think about your beloved with love, with tears. Francis would walk the streets and cry. And they say, "Why are you crying?" He says, "I'm crying for the wounds of Christ and I'm not ashamed of it." Ramakrishna the same. He would sob and sob for love for God. His shirt would get literally wet. He would have to take it off because it will get cold. He would walk the streets like that with intense, immense love. Yeah? This love and the tears of the love, which Saint Therese, she says, this is not your tears. It's God's gift to you that you receive such tears. Is a gift. Is the grace coming in. What would be such a life where this is what you would contemplate? Where you would wake up in the morning, and as you brush your teeth, as you take a shower, which I hope you do in the morning, at least with the teeth, you would have that state of devotion and that state of longing. And yeah, half of the time you would be with your regular thoughts, which will anyway be extraordinary thoughts if you have such devotion. All the saints that we mentioned had an extraordinary childhood, but their devotion in the beginning of the path could never have got them to their realization, to their enlightenment. It is this principle which made it possible. It is this state of self-giving and prayer, and the prayer was oriented correctly into this exponential process of growing in love and in grace. It's like an ever-growing spiral, ever-growing, ever-growing, ever-growing in that way. And what happens is, when such a love becomes immense, all the concerns of life become completely trivial. And once the love is gone, these trivialities, they are everything, to quote Krishnamurti. Saint Teresa of Avila, just to give you a little bit biographical terms of their of them as children, of all these 4 saints. Saint Teresa of Avila, when she was a child, she and her brother, they read about the life of saints, and she said, let's be martyrs. So they said, let's find somebody who will kill us for God. So they took their little bag and went to the city and went to everyone and says, look, can you kill us in the name of God? We want to be saints. We want to be saints. This world means nothing. We want to give our lives to God. Would you be kind enough to kill us? Yeah, this is how her devotion started, and she went down as a teenager, and she returned again using this principle, the same in the life of the other saints, and we'll come back to them in one of the other lectures. Padre Pio has been dead since 1968, so 50 years. And his body, not like Lenin's body that they put I don't know what to preserve it, his body just doesn't decay. You can look close up at that picture and see that the grace he received and the immense love that he had. You look at the face, he looks like he's sleeping or he's been dead for a day, maybe. But the grace that he received transformed his body so fundamentally that even after death, his body remained as this kind of token of wonderful grace, of spiritual light. A similar process happened to the great Yogananda. When it was his moment to die, he gave a speech and he said, goodbye everyone, and he closed his eyes and the body just fell. And he took his last picture, he gave his speech, he said, that's it, I'm going. And the body fell, and the body did not decay one bit or smell one bit for 21 days, and his body stayed. And then he was covered. It's very well possible that his body is still in a completely fresh state. So it's just to show how much and how objective this grace can be when it's rising to these levels. And you can imagine there's a lot of New Age people there that claim I don't know what spiritual level, many of them famous authors and very good speakers, but I doubt that in the moment they will have, in the moment of death, their body will not decay as did Padre Pio's body. And it's a very beautiful example of how the power of love can even transcend the force of death.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.
Thank you.